Nigeria as empathy. Empathy is Nigerians are good people, but being good does not make you patriotic. Mm-hmm. Nigerians are a fantastic set of people anywhere in the world. We have the good, the bad, the ugly, like every other country. But when you have something and everybody rallying around, we're talking about Nigeria as an entity. Because you are patriotic to a system. Patriotism among Nigerians is okay. That's, for me, empathy. But when it has to do with patriotism, we said it's love for country. You will not steal against your country. You will not kill against... those are fundamental principles.
This is my Nigeria. My Nigeria.
Hello, welcome to This My Nigeria on Click Niger Online channel. Today on the show, we are talking about patriotism, what it really means to love this country and how we show it every day. My name is Folashade Akinola, your host. Joining me in the studio today are three special guests who represent different generations and perspectives of Nigeria. I have with me Mr. Austin Agbe, a political analyst. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I do appreciate it.
And I also have with me a respected elder statesman who has seen this country through different seasons. He is Honorable Pascal Adigwe, a former member House of Representatives. We are so glad to have you
here. Thank you very much.
On the show today. And last but not the least, a young, vibrant Nigeria. That's Miss Iberi Owanko. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
All right, so let's start with the basic. When you hear the word patriotism, what immediately comes to mind? I'll come to you first, Mr. My Guy.
Patriotism is simple. It's love for nation. Patriotism means nation first. Patriotism means promoting your nation and holding the core value of that nation to heart. It means that everything about you sentimentally is dropped, then nation becomes number one. But again, whether we are truly patriotic in the circle of Nigeria, I will maybe have the opportunity to talk about it.
Okay, so Honorable Pascal, please, what do you think about?
Yeah, patriotism represents committing to country in the days of good and also in the days of bad. Making sure you uphold the ethos and tenets that form an entity called a country. Most times, patriotism is seen from the positive prism, but we shouldn't also take our eyes off the negative prism, because these two come together to make up what life actually is all about.
So, I want to take you on in the days of good and the days of bad. How do you define bad in a country?
Bad, like life generally, is not a straight line. Sometimes things could go awry. A plan could go unexecuted or poorly executed, or even a nation can go without very good news all the time. So we should not take our minds off the fact that sometimes negative news come. But patriotism overshadows all this.
Thank you. Let's go to Ms. Iberi. What's your take on patriotism? What do you think patriotism means?
I would say it's the love, dedication, and loyalty one has his country.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now I'll go to Mr. Austin again. As a political analyst, do Nigerians today truly understand what real patriotism is? Or do we often confuse it with something else like political loyalty, tribal loyalty, or even support for like our football team now, Super Eagles. You see people cheering them on and all that. Is that what patriotism is all about? Because a lot of time we see that what we call patriotism is not really is from the point of view or a point of view of emotions and not intentionality. So what do you have to say to this?
I think the only point of convergence for Nigerians through patriotic nature is on the national field where Nigerians are playing football. I'm not too sure that this country have what they call national value, because you can't converge on nothing. What are you patriotic for? There is no national interest. What's our national interest? If I say today, Nigerians listening now, I ask, what's our national interest? People are likely going to talk about their primordial sentiment. We are first of all who we are before we are Nigerians. When the chiefs are dying in this country, people will tell you, I am Igbo, I am not this, I am Benin, I am Igala, I am an Hausa man. That first sentiment is where your patriotism truly lies, and not the Nigerian state. I say this because when I talked about national interest, and just a few days ago we're talking about in class we're talking about national interest, and I said there is no national interest in this country. What we have is elite consensus who determine the cost of what it means to be national interest. And the professor said, whether I'm not looking at the fight against insurgency as a national interest, I said no. It is a convergence, because until the elites in this country agrees to deal with insecurity, forget the ordinary citizens who do not have the law and the weapon to even implement any law. We talk about politicization of processes. The ordinary Nigerians, the only time you have power, or the only time we have power, is when we are to vote. And we also know what voting has become in this country. Is the voting process patriotic? If all of these processes that brings up a leader, the process are not patriotic, how then do you expect the loyalty from citizens to be? And that is why it's a big challenge. That the only time that Nigeria truly converge is that when Nigeria is winning. And if Nigeria is not winning, immediately you see the unpatriotic nature of Nigerians. The day we lost the election, in fact, there was a day, I think it was 2 weeks ago, Nigeria was playing and suddenly we were losing. And we got one, the next we got another. If you could see the euphoria, we said it, but the next time we lost, no mind them. Until they worry them. We are quick, like that statement said. By the time is the negative side, we are quick to quickly condemn as Nigerians. Because we are not Nigerians.
Okay, so I'll still stay with you, because you said the only point of convergence we have is football. And it's not everybody that has interest in football. You understand? So how as a Nigerian, how did we get to the point of not having that value, that interest for a country where we are all living in? How did we get to that point?
So I'll give you a quick story. I was on a trip with some Americans who went to 2 countries. Germany went to South Sudan before the war, for just a bit before the war in South Sudan. So the crisis was booming. Americans came for their people. Nigeria didn't come for me. You want me to be loyal to be patriotic to a system that doesn't value me? In South Africa, Nigerians were killed and attacked. The only thing we heard was on news. Did Nigeria go for them? Only one airline, not to advertise anybody. Only one airline quickly went in to say, please, that's not Nigeria. That's not Nigeria. He's a Nigerian. Then Nigeria commended him for going to rescue Nigerians. You see, if Nigeria doesn't care about you, the tendency is that you don't care about it. And that is why when you blame people outside this country who literally bring Nigeria down, and in this country we just say, let's speak well of Nigeria. You speak well of what benefits you, or what you are able to run to. Bail is free. In Nigeria, is bail free? There are those small details that give the encouragement to a Nigerian to truly obey Nigeria. I use the word, I give you that example about the US, because that's more like a system that I know too well. Anything happening to a single American anywhere in the world, in 2020, one American was kidnapped in this country. America mobilized to come and pick him. how many Nigerians are in South Sudan? How many Nigerians in Sudan? How many Nigerians in Niger? How many Nigerians in Cote d'Ivoire? Do we even know where they are? That is patriotism, and that's what boom patriotism.
So you have been at the leadership position in Nigeria, and I understand that you know what it means to be patriotic. Do you think Nigerians understand that word patriotism?
Okay, I'm going to borrow a little leaf from Austin. My understanding of this country and the way the country is managed, I would rather incline on the path that Nigerians are divided into two. When you're talking about Nigerians, you're talking about two different entities, two different phenomenal idiosyncrasies. One is one of the elites and the governors. One is one of the non-elites and the governed. Let me drop two examples quickly on this table, then we can take off from there. President Obasanjo gave us a story in his house when he was president. How they went to watch a match in Port Harcourt. And as soon as Nigeria scored a goal, when they were coming from different tendencies, religious, social, and all of those. As soon as Nigeria scored a goal, the supporters club were singing, I have a Lord who never fails, I have a Lord who never fails. You know that song? And everybody trooped into the field. Everybody forgot that he was a Muslim, he was a Christian, he was an animist, he was from Port Harcourt, he was from Yola. No! Everybody trooped into the field. It was when they are feeling the euphoria, they now went back to their Nigeria and remembered and recollected and reenacted again what they think they are. So, if the leadership that's now talking about the governors and the managers of the affairs of the country will tap into that. Another example, my neighbor's house caught fire one day. He was not at home. Before he knew it, there were over 50 persons in his compound helping to put out the fire. Nobody remembered that whether he was a Christian or he was a Muslim, he was an elite, he was an Igbo, he was a Yoruba. Nobody remembered.
Yes.
It is when they are finished putting out fighting and putting out the fire, everyone now goes back to his tendency. So the point I'm trying to drive at is that when there's a common thing on the ground, the common Nigerians, if you doubt it, pull out of this compound and let your tire have problem. People will come. You hardly see that in other climes. People will come from nowhere. You will realize that there are over 100 persons around you. They will come and help you. If there's an accident here, even before police arrives or road safety, Nigerians will come out and support you, help you out. So I believe that innately, Nigerians possess a patriotism that is even rare and very rich. But the ones who are managing the country, the leadership, that is where we have lacked a weave. That is where we have lacked a bringing together to form a common direction, a common purpose, and a common belief. And until this is done, we will continue to live the way we live. So I want to take this ball, put it together, and play it into the court of the leadership. That should they rise up and declare that this country is one, that opportunities that come to A should go to B, that there should not be any creed, there should not be any color, there should not be any region, there should not be anywhere you come from. Yes, regions and states can exist for administrative purposes. But when it comes to the very everyday life of an everyday Nigerian, let us eschew. Let us ensure to eschew of these things that divide us. And I can bet you that most of the countries that you see this patriotism at that top level, they didn't arrive there overnight. They didn't go there without a plan. So there should be a plan in place to put together the things that bring us together, things that unite us, and play it up and find a way to reduce, to diminish the things that divide us. Everyday Nigerian, including all of you here, You do not know anything called division. You do not know anyone that this one is from there, this one is from. No way. This division is orchestrated from somewhere at the top. And it is same as somewhere at the top that will replay it for our common good.
Okay, sir. From what you just said now, you said leadership is a problem of Nigeria.
Yes.
So, how do you think we can come out of this? Seeing that those who have been there are still the ones still recycling themselves. They refuse to leave. They refuse to go. How do you think Nigeria can be released from their hold?
I've always believed that the country has not been well formed. There's an animal we call amoeba in elementary biology. You know, the country is still loosely formed. If it is a mixture, it's a very loose mixture. We have not been able to enact a common will. It has not happened. So the leadership, and when I mean leadership, I do not mean only governmental leadership. Please, leadership that cuts across all facets of our life, especially political leadership, administrative leadership, religious leadership. Then, of course, traditional leadership. We should be able to come together and say, accept the fact that this country has not been well formed. It was not well formed day one. Efforts were made and results were seen. That's when you saw very successful governments were around in the past. And before we knew it, because this thing was not well knitted together, the nature was loose. What you now began to see was a breakdown in this formation. And then, of course, natural tendencies, human natural tendencies, people started going back to their enclaves, therefore weakening the coming together that we so desire. So until this unification, let's leave unity for now. The unification.
Do you think it's possible to achieve this common will? Because when you see somebody trying to go this way, another person is going that way.
First of all, let there be a diagnosis. Let there be a consensus diagnosis. After diagnosis, you establish the ailment. I am hazarding a guess now what the ailment look like. After the ailment, you now take a decisive position to right the wrong. It is that decisive position that people call the willpower. So it is that willpower that is necessary to have these things put in place.
Do you have anything to add to this?
No, I agree. Just maybe a bit of maybe. So I'm looking at that patriotism in Nigeria as empathy. Empathy is Nigerians are good people, but being good does not make you patriotic. Nigerians are a fantastic set of people anywhere in the world. We have the good, the bad, the ugly, like every other country. But when you have something and everybody rallying around, we're talking about Nigeria as an entity. Because you are patriotic to a system. Patriotism among Nigerians is okay. That's, for me, empathy. But when it has to do with patriotism, we said it's love for country. You will not steal against your country. You will not kill against... those are fundamental principles. For instance, if you go on social media today, I don't know what's trending now, you are going to see a commentary from an individual. You can easily read where the person is from in this country. Right. Let's just say, for instance,
very correct.
Let's just say, for instance, issues around I like the trending. Niger State, 100 children have been returned. Go on social media. You are going to see the division in this country. That's not. That ought to be patriotism for. Oh, praise Nigeria! We have named it. We are so good. This is great country, great people. No, you are going to see. Tell me, how did they come? Who negotiated it? Because the action that led to those things are not seen to be patriotic. The process,
But sometimes we hear that some of the people that are even committing these atrocities, going to attack people in their places of worship, those are not Nigerians. Like they are from.
See, let's off the mic. What is not Nigeria? If not Nigeria, can Nigeria not deal with them? If you even say they are not Nigerians, we have been told that they're coming from West Africa, they're coming from Niger. See, that is an invasion on our sovereignty. So what is Nigeria as a state doing against those invaders? So it's clear whether they are not, whether you call it, because I've had too many stories about how in 2015, some people went to bring some people in so that when they don't win election, they will invade. Those are nonsensical. Deal with the issue, identify them, blow them out. That's the role of government. The welfare and security of the peoples of this country is the main duty of government. If government cannot do it, they should forget about it.
So I'll come to you, Ibe. Can patriotism survive the hardship? The love for your country. Can it, when you have a love for that country, can it survive the hardship, the corruption, the insecurity and injustice that we face every day, or does it just die when everything gets too tough?
Now I've been listening to my two big men here. They are really correct. Just that we youth, I don't even know where we stand. The thing is that I don't know if this my country is. They say we should keep praying that everything will be okay. But it's not just about praying. It's about we individuals, like the leaders, and everywhere you are. If you're a leader, how do you control that place? How do you see people? Because if as a youth, I don't. Youth cannot. They are nowhere in our country. They have no place, and I don't know when they can ever stand up as this is a youth person and he can lead or he can take care of one or two things. So what is happening in our country is demoralizing, because I know one time I have not ever in my life go out to vote. I will always say what is happening here. Even after voting, nothing will happen. So but the last one, they gave us this conviction that if you go and vote, everything will be okay. Like anybody that won that election will be the one to be there. I took my time. I have never done it in my life before. I went and get my voter's card. I went out, I voted. We didn't sleep. Only for us, even when we eventually close our eyes and open, we now heard that this is what it is. And we saw people died. Mostly the youth. They killed a lot of people. So it still remains that I don't know what we can do to make our country good again. It's going to be difficult, very, very difficult.
But let's
It
be
is.
hopeful Nigeria will be okay. Last. So what everyday things can an ordinary Nigerian do to show patriotism? No politics, nothing. How do Nigerians show love to their country?
Okay. Remember, anytime I want to create, I'd like to draw an analogy. I talk about the two types of Nigerians. On the side of the leadership, the managers of the country, which I have enunciated sufficiently, I believe that there are two things that build the mind of man. There may be more, but there are two very basic ones. One is example. Two is deterrence.
Okay.
These two things, if our leaders can suspend many other things, even infrastructure, put a hold. Let's go back and infuse example. The right examples. Please, I beg you, do not cast your mind on governmental leaders alone. When we talk about this leadership, please, it is not only people in government that are leaders.
Even at the grassroots.
Some clergy, some imams, some pastors are even more valued, more respected, more revered, more listened to than even a representative. You are representative in your place. Therefore, your king in your place or your emir might even be more valued. The examples he puts on the table may be more crucial, more critical, more valued than the one that your senator will put on the table. Your town union president may even more powerful than your local government council chairman. Therefore, this leadership I'm talking about cuts across. If every facet would rise up tomorrow morning, Tuesday, and change our ways, begin to put examples of proper attribute and attitude to life. I remember Joe Biden saying that he is inclined to showing the power of example as opposed to the example of power. So if we all, including you and I, will change and begin to live a life that is worthy of emulation, that's part one, delivered. Part two is the ordinary citizen also waking up and realize that, look, this is the only country we have. There is no elsewhere else you can go to that you will be a citizen of that country. Even the one that is conferred on you by other countries that are yet going to have green card, going to have citizenship, PR, and all of those. Somewhere down the line, you will also know that east, west, north, and south at home is actually the best. So if the ordinary citizen will also imbibe, that's why I took the one for leadership first. If they will imbibe the example that would have been put on the table by the managers of the country, I can bet you that the energy, the good mind, the resources, the belief system that the Nigerian people have, there's nowhere else that it can be equal in the whole world.
You said something about deterrent.
No, I've just finished with the example.
Okay.
Then, the same managers of the country set rules and let this rule be universal. Let it be all-encompassing, all-embracing. Let it not be selective, and begin to implement the rule. You will see that should anybody go wrong, no matter who you are, no matter your belief system, should anybody go foul of these examples that have been put on the table, these are the prescribed punishments, and we stay by it.
Okay, sir.
My sister was asleep.
Okay, if I get you very well now, I want to give example, I understand what you are trying to say now. Set example. Let's take the case of China, for example.
Yes.
The issue of corruption,
Yes.
any of their leaders
Yes.
who violated that rule,
Yes.
they execute them. Can we do that in Nigeria?
Okay, let me tell you, we may not have to, the first day, go that extreme. Because remember, I told you that there is something that makes us Nigeria. There's an empathy. There's a love we have. There's an attitude to life. There's a belief system
But
that we have.
empathy among us, not because leaders. When somebody is in a leadership position,
Yes.
they are held to a particular hierarchy and standard. But most of them don't live up to that hierarchy.
Give the leaders their form of empathy. Give the led their form of empathy. That's why I cleverly divided them into two. The nature and type of empathy that should come from these people may not be the same thing as this people, but at some point they will meet and become one. So if you are talking about China, we may not go to yes, but this one does this, executing, kill this, do that. No, because we're also a democracy of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Although I believe that democracy is amorphous. Democracy has no form, so much of a big form. Democracy is actually like marriage. What your marriage is different from mine. If you give me a photocopy of how you run your house, it may not work in my house. So also is democracy. So we should be able to form our own democracy to suit our immediate reality, immediate situation, and work around it to maximize the opportunities that democracy provides. So going back to what I was saying, we can have an enactment here and there where punishment meted out according to the crime committed, according to the anyone who goes against the example that have been set out. And we ensure that these things go down. And the only what I believe the way to go about it, like I always say, put a hold on the certain things. Let's go and achieve this first. When we get them right, every other thing will fall in place. If we have a police force and we have a working judiciary, today one of the greatest problems we have in this country is lack of trust and confidence in our judiciary. So I can take your money, we can do business tomorrow. I have police surrounding me, and I take your money. There's nothing you can do. You go to court, you won't get justice. Even if you will get, I may have what it takes to stop you from getting it. Mm-hmm. You go to police station, even the cost of your complaint, the cost it will put on you who has the problem. At a point, you will abandon the case. And I have won. And this lady is on the side looking at what has happened. It has given her audacity to repeat it to the other lady. That's what is going on in the country. You pay somebody to do a work in your house, maybe a job of 1 million naira to repair your POP. You pay him 700,000. He comes and does the work. And he's not, you won't even look for him. Because kidnappers and major criminals we have not seen. Is that the one that police will be reporting themselves? Because they know that nothing will come out of it. You go to court, you won't get justice and all of those. So if we address the issue of policing, only country where somebody will carry hundreds of millions of naira and the policeman will be aiding him and supporting him to carry it.
Okay, Mr.
So let me just land there. So if we can deal with this policing, proper policing, that when you say police, when we are growing up, when you hear that the policeman is in the neighborhood, everybody will dog. Do you understand me? Because you know that if this policeman catches you, but today you are passing, hey officer, how are you doing? You are one side, and then no respect. You know what I'm saying? And then come to judiciary. When we are growing up, they say someone is a judge, even a magistrate. Mm. You do not need to be told that this is an epitome of purity, epitome of sincerity. Today, I don't know. So we need to go back and rework these pillars that hold a society. And I can bet you the Nigerians that I know, once these things are in place, like I used to say, go and sleep.
So, Mr. Austin, what do you have to say on this concept of example and deterrence? Let's limit it to the three arms of government right now.
So, before I used to believe in bottom-up perspective, particularly with development, that the people united can change the course of action. I've left that philosophy. It is top down. Anything that must change, don't expect it from the people together. The moment the people start gathering, it's easy to call them terrorists. Just brand them a name, and you pick them up. The next thing is that there are life imprisonment is waiting. But when the elite does the same thing that a people united does, is okay. So for me, I will focus on those we elected to make this change happen. Mm-hmm. And for anything to happen to that thing, it starts with the process of selection, leadership selection process. As of today, the Ebere just talked about the 2023 election. The weakness of young people to go and vote in the 2027 election may be a bit difficult. Mm-hmm. Now, deterrent, I agree. But the only challenge with deterrent is that who deters who? Mm-hmm. Today, before we had the PDP administration, we used to see APC as the challenge. And the APC then used to see the PDP as, when we remove them, Nigeria will be better. We could talk right now, we'll be like Dubai. Because the president won election in 2015. For 6 months, Nigerians became obedient to the rule. There was no minister. There was no ambassador. Just one man. As president, his body language was louder than whatever he was writing. People, we were even told that some persons who stole money started returning it covertly. Body language. A leader. Leadership being, the being and leadership is our greatest challenge. People are looking up to the top to do the things under. When you have a brother, including me, we are all guilty. I mean, I won't want to remove myself. I don't know if that statement didn't put you, but let me use myself. That, you know, every one of us, you get to a police station. Let me even say the traffic light. When you run over the traffic light, the next thing is that, do you know him? Do you know him? Who are you? There's a phone call. A Nigerian took the Nigerianness to Canada. The police stopped the vehicle, and somehow the woman in the vehicle called this judge. You know, that's what I was talking about judges, how we used to reference judges. Called this judge. The judge in Canada, a Nigerian, picked up the phone and tried to call the police. He didn't ask them to release the woman. He had to step down from being a judge. You know why?
Why would you call a law enforcement agent over a matter that should be dealt with legally or by process? In Nigeria today, most vehicles are tinted who have no business with being tinted. Most of us wear the things that we use commentaries. In fact, it's a catastrophe of challenge. In an attempt to solve one, there's another. I think in solving Nigerians' problem, I agree with Eda's statement about going back. But I also have a challenge of going back. Going back to when? 1914? Maybe that would be the best place to go. At the point of the convergence of Nigerian state, that should be the best. But who are we going to meet on the road back? Awolowo is no more. Sodana is no more. All the people who moved the motion for self-independence to the narrow, they are no more. This set of people now who claim to be aligning with what they call federalism are not able to do it. We must truly federate this country. Nigeria today is a central republic of Nigeria and not a federal republic of Nigeria. Everything comes from the top. Everything, literally. Even to build road in a local government far away in Calabar, you are waiting for the president. Meanwhile, there's a local government authority. There's no more local government. The state have usurped the power of local government. There's a catastrophe of problems that impede on the people's patriotic nature. So everybody now aligns. So when you have your brother is in power, we are now in power. Now our turn be this so. Now our turn. If we not go quick chop, if we not quick chop now, when another person come, that chop, because it is not spreading. Resources is scarce. The people are catching wealth. Imagine a counselor any more than a professor. That's an aberration. A counselor. Maybe he never went to the... I'm not undermining a counselor position, but he should not earn more than a professor. You see a governor with all the entourage and all of that. Security votes are literally their votes. It's a problem. So this nation is already at a fixed point that the best thing I recommend is ethnic federalism. Let's go back to our ethnicity.
Can I just pause you a little bit so you can deal with that professor and counselor thing? You know, because the ears of the old woman cringes when she hears of a dry bone. What about a professor being a counselor?
Fantastic. I like it. A professor can be anything.
Shouldn't counselors be professors? If you can take leadership to that level.
No, I agree. I'm saying a professor who agrees to contest a professor who agrees to contest for the counselor, we should know what he's going to do. It is service. The salary of a professor, that's what I'm talking about. A counselor within 2 years of administration builds, if I buy houses that have been built before and break them and rebuild them, a professor still live in one-star quarters.
No, the point I'm making is can we not take leadership, even counselorship? Can we not make it so big, so envious, to such a level where professors will want to actually be counselors?
You see,
so that if you have such quality of people running the country,
there'll be a difference.
Then there will be a difference.
Sir, the truth of the matter is that education does not determine leadership. Education does not determine service. The truth is that a counselor should be somebody loved by the people within the area who understand the very core of that area. So he administers action based on the things he knows. He may be somebody who didn't go to school, but he understands.
The point I'm driving is that the position of a counselor should not be denigrated.
No, I'm not. I know. I did not know.
It's just because only here we allow. We think counselor should be one little boy in the village.
I use the word salary. I am very conscious of the variable. That the salary of a counselor, whoever he is, the salary, it means
I would prefer to become a counselor than I become a professor. You are killing the educational system because the counselor who is big, I'm not undermining the counselor, who is big, earn more than someone who has gone through first degree, second degree, third degree, and written all manner of things, and eventually it ends less. These are just the basis. That's just one variable I hold. I'm not also saying that professors are good. We have seen professors who change results in this country, who help to manipulate results. And I'm just talking about if we are all patriotic against system. If the system is running well, that the people matter in the system will work well. But in this case, as Obama said in 2019 in Ghana, I'll end with that. He said the problem with Africa is that we have too much strong men and weak institutions. In today's country, Nigeria, the strong men are the most patriotic because they control everything, they control system. They place a call to even the police officer who has arrested somebody for criminal action. They place a call. You are aware, it's no longer a story, that some persons were caught off, the military were caught off in Kebbi when the bandits went in. Who made the call? A patriotic Nigerian at the top.
You are watching This My Nigeria on Click Niger online channel. To be a part of this conversation, please follow Click Niger on Facebook and YouTube at Click Niger, and on Instagram and X at Click Niger1. You can also listen live on www.clickniger.gov.ng. Now let's go back to our discussion. Now come to Iberi. What do you think the future of patriotism in Nigeria looks like?
I don't know how to, I don't even know how to go about it, but I think if for us to make our country good again, let me start from us before going to talk, like obeying the traffic rules, like he said, then following the instruction, the law, like we have constitutions, so we should know the rules and know what is expected from us and what we are supposed to do and what we are not supposed to do. And coming to our top leaders, you see, like you said, someone said, somebody, a woman calling the high top people to, to maybe they stopped her at the traffic. So by the time we know that what I'm doing is not correct, and I feel maybe I have someone up there that I can call, and I eventually did, and the person said, you know what you did was wrong, or face the consequence. I think we'll start learning. When you know that when we were growing up, my mom, when we would cry and come and meet her and say, someone beat me, she will now ask you, what did you do? She'll start from there. Then when you say, because I match, she'll knock you on the head. Then you know that what you did was wrong. So why are you coming to report? So, but what we do in Nigeria here, whether you are right or wrong, as far as you have the power,
our own.
if you make the call, the next person will hear it. So by the time we start knowing that this thing that I'm trying to do or I'm doing is wrong, I think we'll be heading somewhere.
Let me add to what you just said. When my mom was a teacher, I remember there was a day I followed her to school, and I was beating our students. So one of them went to report me. You know what she did? She took cane and gave him. When she beat you, beat her back.
Okay.
I was so scared. Like when I saw the cane. And my mom, and it was like that, like no nonsense, no. So if everybody could be like that, I believe it would be a better place for all of us. Now, before we go, if you could give a Nigerian watching us right now, an advice about patriotism, what would it be? I want each of our guests to speak on this. I'll start with you, sir.
Okay. I will enjoy the leader leaders, the managers, the governance of this country to pause and know that the beautiful country that God gave to us is slipping away from us. And is slipping into a doldrum, slipping into like what it calls catastrophe. For whatever the interest is, for whatever the plan is, for whatever their agenda might be. Because I see a conspiracy against a beautiful people. They should pause and know that if we can rework this country, if we can reenact the wheel, they will even benefit more than what they think they are benefiting in this catastrophe. That is for the ones who manage this country. If it is law, that's our problem. Let the laws be made. If it is executing the law, that's the problem. Let the execution be made. Let there be a political will, a God-given, God-fearing will to rewrite our story and reenact our will. Then to the other part of Nigeria, other Nigerians, I do not have much to tell them because they are not the issue. They are not the problem. They are not the problem. If you come to our streets today, you will see Nigerians of walks of life, all parts of Nigeria. They live with us. As you are passing, good morning, sir. Morning, sir. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. And welcome, sir. Okay, very good people. Mm-hmm. There are Fulanis among them. There are Hausas among them. There are Igbos. Mm-hmm. Wonderful people. Mm-hmm. Then we that are supposed to put this energy into a basket of purpose. We are the ones who let them know that take it easy. You are not from north. You are from south. You people and all of those. So the bulk of the responsibility to rework and reenact this wheel lies in the hand of the managers of this country. And that includes you and I.
Thank you.
I give you last example.
Okay.
My daughter was going to spend a night in somebody's house. She's not too conversant with our sisters here. She came in from somewhere. I didn't know. The first question I asked this girl was, where is she from? If you see the venom on my daughter's face, Daddy, how does where she comes from matter? I felt like a fool. And I had to apologize to her. Say, I'm sorry. Immediately I thought of it and said, oh my God, look at how our minds work. I didn't even ask the name. I didn't even ask what she does. I didn't even ask our age. First question, where is she from? So that I could classify
And place her.
Which is very wrong. So let me stop here.
Thank you so much, sir.
Well, sir, I don't think it was wrong. In the Nigerianness, you are protecting her. You are actually protecting your daughter. If something happened to her, they will ask you, why did you allow her to go there? That's the situation we are today. But for me, I like to start with the philosophy. A philosopher said, a people deserve the kind of government they have. Which means those who are these same called leaders we talk about, whether the pastors, okay, we didn't elect the pastors. God elected them. Imam, Allah elected them. But the ones we elected, they came from us. So it is we, Nigerians, that enabled them to be present in area. And these same people, they used to be on this side. I'm using the word on this side because you are seeing me. When you're on this side, there are things you are not seeing when you are on the other side. My professor, Professor F.P. told me something. You know, those they were doing criticizing management in school and said, hello.
So you are University of Benin?
The one in Ambrose University.
Oh, okay.
The one in the University of Benin is economics.
That's my father.
Oh, the one in the University of in ECMA is a sociologist, public administration.
The ability you are a professor. That's
Yes.
my father.
Oh, great.
Not
academic father. Fantastic.
Yeah.
He said to me, he said, Austin, you see, you activists, you are talking from this side. You see, when you move to the other side, he wrote 8 on the ground. No, sorry, he wrote 9 on the ground. On this side, it was 9. And I said, you know what, let's move to the other side. It became 6. And I said, every time you argue with the VC and the Senate and all that, try to go to where they are. And I said, how can I go to what I'm saying? They should come to it. I was arguing. In this country, all these people are leaders. They used to see 9. But today they are now seeing 6. I think that as Nigerians who continue to see 9, we must either move to that place where they are seeing the 6, or we drag them back to where they used to see 9. And for that to happen, we require that before you give them the mandate, because this thing is a social contract, before you give them the mandate, let them know that it's 9 they are seeing and not 6. So that they don't get on the other side and say, I didn't know that this was how it is. In fact, one governor said one time, I didn't know that this was very bad like this. You didn't know and you got in? You didn't know one administration continued to blame Jonathan administration for 8 years. You didn't know and you went in? You should be able to see 6 before you contest election. And at this time, citizens, because you are the one we are talking to, we are the citizens, we need to tell them what we see, so that when they cross over to the other side, they should continue to see what we see. Until that happens, there's always a class struggle. That Karl Marx talked about the social class. We must disrupt that social class. People used to be poor who are on this side, they have not. The moment you go to the other side and now have, you start building long walls, high walls. You turn yourself to prison house against the people that voted for you. I think this is a warning. What happened in Benin is a warning. What happened elsewhere, all of the Francophone country, elected officials must give to the people what they deserve, what they promise them. Pursue good governance. Nigerians, again, are good people. And we cannot say that enough. Nigerians are the best set of people in the world. Privilegedly, I've seen many places. I landed in New York and I was greeting somebody, hi. He looked at me and walked away. In Nigeria, you are telling somebody, hi. You will say, you say that. That is in Nigeria. I love Nigeria. God bless this country. But leaders make it work better.
Thank you so much. That was a powerful one. Miss Ebere.
I've said it all. But the truth is that most of the youth are discouraged. Why? Because you can't love a country that cannot love you back. When we say youth, we are not even talking about those ones that are opportune to have parents that are wealthy. Youth like some of us that doesn't have it, like we have to struggle to go to school. Then after struggling, then you come back, you start looking for job again. But you see those that are in that are opportune, that have wealthy parents, before they will even finish their coming out from school, they already have their job is waiting for them. But some of the youth, they will struggle, they will come back, they will say, go and fill, there's form for this one, you go and fill, you take your time, you fill everywhere. At the end of the day, they will tell you they have already sought all those things that you people are struggling. They have given it out. It's just for, so that, the struggling, the suffering is really much, especially on the poor ones that don't have anybody that can help. So that's why you see all this insecurity we are seeing. Maybe somebody, youth, like somebody who has vowed that I want to be good, and since there's no job, you will eat, you have family to feed, you now have to do all sorts of things that
Yes, the devil's workshop.
exactly. So we beg the leaders, whoever that can help. At least when we finish school, we should be able to see something, have a job. And if you want to do skills, you don't even have the money to go and enroll in one or two things that can help your life. So I think if the leaders can help, and also not let them not be too selfish. They are very, very selfish because they only know themselves and their families, and they don't care about what is happening, especially with the poor. So they should just know that we are all one and we are one Nigeria. Because if Nigeria is good, everybody is good.
Thank you so much for that. I want to say thank you to our guests, Honorable Pascal Adigwe, our elder statesman, and also the political analyst, Mr. Austin Aibe and Ms. Ebere Onwako. Thank you so much for this powerful conversation. Please follow Click Niger on all our socials. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. To everyone watching, please remember patriotism is not loud, neither is it silent, but it is not blind. It questions, it reforms, and it builds. It is not about government alone, it's about the people. It's about what we do for our community, our families, and the Nigeria we want to see tomorrow. I am Folashade Akiola. Until our next episode of This My Nigeria, stay hopeful, stay kind, and keep building Nigeria. Bye.